Moore, Dallas Morning News. How does your practice today compare to a typical Thursday practice late in the season? Is it much different, or do you try to keep it?
No, it's the same, frankly, as the last padded practices that we've had. I think we've had 2 in the last couple of weeks, just because obviously with our schedule and the allotment. So this is a normal padded Thursday practice as far as the periods, but obviously it's specific to our opponent, as far as what we do within those periods. But it's timeline, workload capacity. All those things are similar to what I would call a in-season winter Thursday padded practice.
Clarence Hill for Star-Telegram. It seemed like Xavier's made a good impression since he's been here. Does the fact that he's only played 2 games, does that factor into how much you can use him? Do you know what he can handle?
I mean, I think really his experience in Buffalo and all that really doesn't pay any mind to what we feel about him moving forward. So, we've had a chance to see him just practice. I think it was Saturday practice last week, and and obviously this will be a big day for him because this is the most we'll get to see him move around. So we'll see how it works out.
Mike, Todd Archer of the ESPN. How did Biadasz look in practice yesterday, and is today a big day after coming off what was probably the most work he's had since injuring himself?
Definitely. No, I agree with everything you just said. This is a big day for him, and but everything looks good. I mean, there's no complaints. Wasn't in the training room this morning, so everything looks good. But this, obviously, this is the padded work, the individual work. Particularly the team run. The periods where he has to really anchor. This will be good for him today.
With Bohanna, he was inactive last week. Was that injury related, or was it just wanting to look at the other guys?
No, it was a competitive situation, and it's going to be another one this week too. So you got a number of guys that are competing to get up, and big conversation that we have it every week. If you go back to earlier in the year, we were 24 defense, 21 offense, and but consistently throughout the second half of the season, we've been 22 on offense and 23 on defense. So that's all part of that challenge.
Ed. Mike, Ed Werder, ESPN. What are you specifically taking from the playoff experience you had last year against the 49ers and applying to your preparation for this week?
I mean, if you're asking me, did I specifically talk about anything that happened during the week or up to this week, the answer would be no. I mean, absolutely none. And I think it's, as we've talked about in here a number of times, that way your season ends, it really ties into your off-season program, ties into your training camp. And then once you get going, this journey is separate of itself. We've had the regular season journey. It's put us in this position, but this is all about just winning this game against Tampa. I mean, that's what playoff football is. But I'm not. We're not spending any time on that game right now.
Skyler Dixon with the AP. J-Ron, part of the reason he was a good guy award winner was he volunteered the other day that Dan told some of his group that it had been 30 years since the Cowboys had won a road playoff game. I just wondered, what's the value of guys maybe knowing something like that? Does it help to know that kind of history?
Yeah, definitely. And really the message, the message that was given in the team meeting was, we had 10 guys. We had the baby pictures of 10 players and the dates that they were born, and then obviously acknowledge that. And the reality of it is, we have zero responsibility to what's happened here in the past, all the way back even to the San Francisco game. This is about our opportunity. It's about what's in front of us. It's about what we've accomplished on our journey through the regular season, with the things that we've learned from our things that didn't go the way we want them to go, and how we apply that to this one game, and how it's going to help us win the game. So that's really the message of it. But yeah, I mean, I think it's, certain things come to light, throughout, the regular season, and I just thought it was important for our team to just understand that, because they have responsibility to answer questions just like I do. So I think it's all part of our focus.
Mike, Jory Epstein, Yahoo Sports. So were the baby pictures that were of players who were born after that time, or what was the?
Before that time. It's the point of the story. They're all really young. Yeah.
The players were born after that playoff history.
No, the point is, there's only been 10 guys in the room that were born. They were on this earth when that happened. So, and they were very young. So.
David?
Like you say, you embrace this team's history so much, but in this case, the message is, look, we're responsible for who we are, not anything that happened before us. There's not an accumulative effect here. It's us and what we've done and what we are.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've talked in here just the other day about the importance of the history and tradition of the Dallas Cowboys and the responsibility that we all have to it. But with that comes the ability to filter what's applicable to what you're all about. So we recognize, the great players, the great teams, the great coaches, and the great seasons, the Super Bowl championships. I mean, it's part of our everyday environment here. But at the end of the day, we're totally tied into our culture. What we're about. What we're focused on getting done, and that's number one is the win in Tampa, and that's really all that matters. And that's sorry it's not sexy enough for you because you keep asking me about it, but that's what we're doing.
Mike, the new overtime rules, how does that impact decision-making, you think, and what are your thoughts on the change?
Yeah, it's a good change. I've been on the other side of that, so I think it's a good change. But yeah, I think it's something that we'll continue to talk about, and but I think like a lot of things in those decisions, you could play it straight down the middle, close to the vest, or you can take in the other variables that occur during the game to swing your decision one way or the other too. So, and I think it's important to look at all those decisions that way, and that's what we're doing with the new overtime.
Ed?
Mike, you didn't start fast in the playoff game last year, so you played from behind. Given that and what happened last week, the way you played on offense, how important do you think it is to get Dak and the offense comfortable quickly in this game, and how do you go about that?
Very important, and and they challenge you. This is not defense that just plays on your upfield shoulder. That's going to, there's not a whole lot of free offense out there. Is what I like to say when I look at defenses. So, but yeah, I think your point's well taken. It's important every game, but yeah, definitely this game, and just the fact that it's a playoff game. So you only get so many trips to the plate, and you got to make sure you take advantage of those, and definitely getting the quarterback in rhythm, and those are weekly conversations, and definitely will be a focus this week.
Yeah.
Coach Arnold Payne, WFAAG. What is your thought process in the coin flip on which way you want to go as far as offense, defense? Is there logic behind it?
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple variables that I look at each week. I mean, it's a weekly decision. I'm not 100% defer, and I'm not 100% take the ball. I mean, there's a time in my head coaching career that we wanted the ball to get up and get going, and that was, more tailored to how we were designed or, playing with that particular team. And, I think the other part of it is, the philosophy of always deferring, because you open up the second half with the ball, you get the extra series, potentially in the second half, and then also, the ability to potentially score going into the half, because when you score going into the half and score coming out, I think it's like 80% win. So it's definitely to create that double situation. So I'd look at all those things, where we're playing, the surface, how we anticipate the start of the game. So I mean, we talk about it probably more than most, but it's clearly a weekly decision.
Mike, a couple of weeks ago, when you were first talking about Dak and the interceptions, you said your message to him was to continue to be aggressive. You're not slowing down. Is that still the message?
Well, the biggest thing is, you got to look at the whole picture. I mean, I think that what gets lost in this conversation, and I get the way, these things go about. But you got to look at his productivity too. So I mean, you're talking about a very explosive offense, throughout his, what's it been, 9 weeks since he came back. So, that's the whole picture. So, and it's a poor evaluation thought process when you say, well, we were unbelievable in run defense, or the quarterback was unbelievable except for 2 plays, and there's a little bit of that in the performance, and it's so we don't want to lose what we're doing on the other 30 plays. We're just focusing on those couple plays that we can be better, and that's really the message. That's the full circle around it. It's not okay. Don't worry about it. I don't care about the negative result. I'm just going to keep playing. That's not the message. So it's really staying in tune and building off of what we've done well, stacking success of productivity that he has been the trigger man on, and just trying to be better in those spots.
Tyron popped up on the injury report. Was that just something that came in from practice, or something he's been dealing with?
Yeah, just something light at practice. So, but I just seeing him down in the training room this morning, I anticipate he'll practice today. So.
Alrighty.
Good.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay. Thank you.